mga ka-AOKs! How are you today? Kamusta kayo? Ready na ba kayo for a conversation na honest, heartfelt, at talagang malapit sa puso? Lalo na para sa mga kapatid natin dyan! Welcome to the February episode of AOK Pilipinas, ang web show ng Autism Society Philippines kung saan pinag-uusapan natin ang autism, family, at inclusion in a safe space and empowering space. I'm Nene Arroyo, your host for today. The proud ate of Jeb who is now working at proud member rin ng Autism Society Philippines Bacolod Chapter. Today, pag-uusapan natin ang isang role na madalas tahimik pero sobrang bigat at sobrang mahalaga, ang pagiging kapatid ng isang autistic person. Mga kapatid na kasama sa paglaki, mga kapatid na laging inaasahan, at minsan mga kapatid na may tanong pero wala laging may sagot. Kaya ang title ng episode natin ay Kapatid, Kasama, Kakampi. Or, as we say in Hiligaynon, upod gid, hindi ka lang kabahin, kundi kakampi. At syempre, hindi ko to gagawin mag-isa. Joining me today is a proud member of the ASP Self-Advocate Circle, who is also the ambassador of ASP Iloilo Chapter. He is also the church organist in their Faith Baptist Church, has worked as a data analyst from Divergent, and assistant teacher in Emmanuel Center for Children with Special Needs. And every year, he flies to Mall of Asia Arena to perform during the Angels Walk for Autism. And yes, magaling siyang singer. Ka-AOKs, let's welcome Cid Tampo.
Dream,
Hi!
the
Aga,
impossible
Cid.
dream.
Hi!
Maayong aga.
Oh, magaling nga
Thank
siyang
you,
singer. O,
Nene.
tignan niyo. Hi! Kamusta
Intro mo-
ikaw, Cid?
Mabuti, Nene.
Yay, very good. And alam mo, I've
Intro mo
heard
pa lang.
before.
I know that you are a very understanding and loving kapatid at kakampi. Hello sa tanan nga ka-AOKs. Dito sa Pilipinas, kag sa nanonood from abroad. Isa ka maayo nga agagit from our beautiful city of love, Iloilo City, kag si Nene from the City of Smiles, Bacolod. I am privileged to be a part of this episode kasi malaking bahagi ng buhay namin bilang autistic persons ang pamilya at lalong-lalo na ang mga kapatid. Importante gidya ang pagbaton kag suporta sa pamilya, pero importante pagid ang pag-intindi sang mga siblings. Before we start, gusto muna naming pasalamatan ang mga partners na patuloy na sumusuporta sa AOK Pilipinas.
Yes.
Back to you, Nene.
Yes, thank you so much, Cid. So maraming salamat po sa Philippine Society of Developmental and Behavioral Pediatrics, Neuroscience Division ng Philippine Children's Medical Center, Ateneo Autism Study Group, at Smart Parenting. So salamat sa pagtulong ninyo para maabot natin ang mas maraming pamilya at mas maraming kapatid. Cid, ikaw na. Please introduce ang guest natin for today.
Oh, it's an honor for me. Our guest today is a longtime special education practitioner and autism advocate. A graduate of UP Diliman, she has worked with persons on the autism spectrum and their families since 1994 as an ABA practitioner, former school director of the Center for Autism and Related Disorders, and former member of the Education Committee of Autism Society Philippines. Since 2009, she has also led siblings camps, providing a safe and supportive space for siblings of persons with disabilities, affirming their role as kapatid, kasama, at kakampi in the autism journey. Ka-AOKs, please welcome Teacher My Sorongon.
Good morning, Cid. Good morning, everyone. Maayong aga, Nene and Cid, no? There, hi. Okay, no? It's so good to be back. Yeah,
Hello,
hi,
Teacher
Cid.
Mai.
Yeah.
Good
I'll
morning.
be going soon there to Iloilo also. Okay, but anyway, no, it's good to be back.
So in the meantime, ng I've heard na, no, this is the first time yung AOK na program, they have, two hosts na from
Hmm.
Visayas, mga Ilonggos and Hiligaynon, no? And as well as as you introduced it, no? Hi, Teacher Mai!
Hi,
Hi, Teacher
Nene.
Mai.
Yes, hi again. Maayong aga to both of you. Again, just like what I said a while ago, it's good to be back and to be part of this very important discussion. It's something that is very close to my heart. No, I may not be a sibling of a person in the spectrum, but because of my postgraduate thesis, which was decades ago, no, and it started in 2009. No, I've been given an opportunity to facilitate Siblings Camp or SIBS Camp, a support group for siblings of persons with autism. Um, I have, in a way, an idea, no, what siblings go through. But of course, it nothing beats pa rin if there's an actual sibling. Good thing Nene is here, no, to also speak and share about your experiences. The SIBS camp, if I may just go back to the SIBS camp, okay, these usually the participants here who would join are teenagers and a few college students, no, and their families are members of Autism Society Philippines national office, or their families are from the different ASP chapters. So again, I am very glad that I'm part of this discussion, because again, this is something very close to my heart.
Thank you so much. Mhm. Okay. So, simulan natin, no, sa pinakaugat ng lahat, pag-unawa or understanding. As siblings like me, paano ba namin mas maiintindihan ang needs at experiences ng brother or sister namin on the spectrum, lalo na as they grow older po, Teacher Mai?
Okay, number one that you have to remember, knowledge is power. The more you learn about something, the better you understand it, and the more you have ideas on how to come up with strategies, no, and in dealing with issues or concerns related to the topic. Therefore, we always tell the siblings, just like their parents, okay, you have to learn and continuously learn about autism and their complexities, because in this way, you have a better understanding of what it is all about, no. And aside from that, I also encourage that siblings will join support groups, no. That's why we also encourage the organizations, no, to come up with sibling support groups, because when you become part of a support group, okay, you get to share similar experiences. You get to share ideas and even strategies on how to deal with struggles, if I may say so, no, difficulties of having a brother or sister with autism. Tsaka iba talaga if you are part of a support group mo. Ramdam mo na hindi ka nag-iisa. Alam mo nang may mga kadamay ka, may kakampi ka, may kasama ka sa tinatawag nating journey of autism, no, of having a brother or sister with autism.
Yes. As an ate rin, ramdam ko rin yan. Kasi habang lumalaki ako, yung kapatid ko, kailangan ko rin i-learn siya on his ways, on his
Mm.
being him on the spectrum. And at the same time, I'm also glad rin to meet a lot of people who are also like me na may sibling na may on the spectrum. So thank you so much for that, Teacher Mai.
Wow, Nene. The things that you do for us on the spectrum. Teacher Mai, another question here. From a professional perspective, ano yung mga common misunderstandings ng siblings about autism na kailangan nilang i-unlearn?
Okay, thank you, Sid. Okay, I guess more than misunderstandings, no, I think the fear will come in also, no. There are three things on top of my head right now, although there are a lot, but I just had to choose, no, because these are the common things that I get to hear from the sharings of siblings every time we have SIBS camp. Number one, feeling nila sala lang daw yung kakaiba na may ganitong klaseng pamilya, no. They feel that they are alone because they think that it's only their family who has a unique situation of having someone who has autism. But wherein in fact we know that autism, there's a lot of children who are being diagnosed every day with autism. So we know that there are a lot of families who do have members with autism. That's why, again, it's very important. I guess it's a calling also for the professionals. Now, whenever we come up with a diagnosis or recommendation, we have to make sure that apart from helping the family, the parents specifically, siblings should be given importance or help also, no? Kasi kadalasan ng siblings naiiwan talaga sa usaping autism, no? Another thing also, misunderstanding, no? They always ask about, I feel it's not actually misunderstanding, but perhaps the lack of proper knowledge, okay? It's about the functioning level. There you go. It's about the functioning level, the communication and behavior of their brother or sister with autism, no? Kadalasan they will ask, kailan magsasalita ang kapatid ko? Magsasalita pa ba siya? No? If he goes or she goes to a school, will she be able to learn a lot of things, knowing that the behavior is just tremendously difficult? No, these are the things that they need to understand. Okay, I go back again to what I said a while ago. Knowledge is power. That's why it's important if parents go through orientation on autism, the siblings also need to go through an orientation on autism. And the last among the many, no, but this is really one of the first things that we often hear. Okay, I do I say it's a misunderstanding perhaps? Okay, but they feel that they are less loved by their parents. Okay, again, siblings feel that they are less loved by their parents. Bakit? Kasi lagi nilang sinasabi, lahat na lang ng oras, ng attention ni mommy, ni daddy, ni mama, ni papa, ay doon na lang sa kapatid ko na may autism. No? That's why they say, am I special also? Because they always say, pagpasensyahan mo na yung kapatid mo na may autism kasi special siya. But they always say, am I not special too? No? After all, okay, I'm also the child of my mom and dad. No? So these are the things that they need to unlearn. No? I guess it's a challenge also for parents to find time, no, to make sure that they have time also for their children who do not have autism, just to assure them that they are equally loved by their parents. So with or without autism, mahal kayo lahat ng inyong mga magulang.
Totoo yun, Teacher Mai. As an adult on the autism spectrum, malaking bagay sa amin kapag hindi kami kino-compare at hinahayaan kaming lumaki sa sariling naming pace. Share ko lang, at the time I was diagnosed, my parents involved my brother and sister very early in autism care. Mabuti na lang youngest ako. They were with me at every visit to the doctors and therapists, so they understood autism at a very tender age. Ako naman, I was with them in most of their activities sa bahay at sa labas. My autism was incorporated to their lifestyle, so parang naging way of life na sa kanila. To the siblings out there, do not worry, do not be afraid. Hindi naman kami pabigat habang buhay. We can learn, we can be productive, we can be independent. Basta bigyan lang kami ng proper support and chance.
Yes. That was a very nice and heartfelt experience you have there, Sid. So, I'll ask the next question po, Teacher Mai, no? Ngayon naman, pag-usapan natin yung madalas hindi nasasabi, yung emotional side naman ng mga kapatid, no? Marami sa mga kapatid ang nakakaramdam ng guilt, pressure, or emotional fatigue. Common ba ito, and paano natin siya mahahandle in a healthy way?
Okay, thank you again, Nene, for that question. Okay, we always remind siblings that there are no right or wrong feelings because this is how you feel. Munigid ang imo na batsyagan. Okay, so again, no, there are no right or wrong feelings, and we even have to tell this to the parents also. Now, the critical thing here is what you do with your feelings that will determine if it's right or wrong. Okay, so for instance, if you feel jealousy, which we always hear again from the sharings, no, honestly, with or without autism in the family, jealousy is a common feeling that siblings get to feel, no? May mga sibling rivalry dyan eh. Now, although may seem typical, okay? But what is also important is for it to be properly processed, because if it will not be processed, that feeling of jealousy, it will be carried on later on in the adult years. Okay, I'm not saying that this will happen to all families, but if the feeling of jealousy will not be properly processed, no, later on in the adult years, sometimes this can be the cause of what we call the social emotional issues or the mental health issues of a sibling, of someone who has of a sibling of someone who has autism, no. So that's why it's again crucial to process such feelings, no? But again, I go back to the fact that there are no right or wrong feelings, because this is how you feel, no. This is your truest sense, no. But what is important is what you do with your feelings. That's why again I will promote and mention again, it's very important to be part of support groups, because here in support groups, no, you're able to share anything and everything, given that the people who are listening to you will not be judging you, no, because they themselves have gone through that similar experience, or perhaps they are going through that experience also, and they're able to give you ways, no, strategies or advices on how to deal with such feelings, no. And another thing also is that it's important to find time for yourself, no. Again, this is actually a reminder to the parents, no, for your other children who do not have autism, please make sure that they have their own time and space also, no. They find their life outside the family, they pursue their own hobbies or interests, or if they have their own barkada, just let them be, allow them, no, because this is their way of releasing whatever stress or pressure that they are experiencing inside the home setting. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Ramdam ko rin yan. Very real yan. Especially, not only rin sa aming household, but also to other households rin. And minsan pakiramdam ko, selfish ako kapag inona ko yung sarili ko at most. Pero I've soon realized and soon to, na hindi naman. Kasi okay, every feelings are valid naman. And hindi naman tayong masamang kapatid to feel such. So thank you so much for that.
Follow-up question, Teacher Mai. Meron din mga kapatid who are scared na baka magkaanak din sila ng gaya namin. Ano ang advice mo sa kanila?
That is a very valid fear, Seed, no? And I am glad you're able to mention that, because I did encounter siblings who have expressed that kind of fear. And I feel, no, this is just for me, I feel this is one of the reasons why they don't want to enter into any relationships, or if ever they have relationships, they don't want to commit, no? Commit meaning eventually getting married, no? Settling down and have their own family. But I recall when I was doing my postgraduate thesis, I was able to interview a woman. At that time, she was about to be engaged. And I did ask her about that, no? Did you ever feel, no, the fear, the anxiety of what if you'll also have a child with autism, knowing that your brother has autism? And she said, you know what she said? She said that because of her parents being very hands-on to her brother or sister with autism, a brother with autism, that gave her so much encouragement, so much hope that in case in the future she would have her own child with autism, somehow she knows how to handle the situation. And another plus factor for that woman, no, her future mother-in-law, in fact, was a nurse, and her mother-in-law, being a nurse, was exposed to patients with autism. No, so again, that boosted her confidence. No, that gave her so much assurance that she has a very good family support, both from her own family and both from her future family. Definitely, because my postgraduate thesis was done, no, practically decades ago. No, I know if their plans did not change, I know they are now in the US, because for one, the side of the husband is there in the US. No? But I go back again to the fact that yes, it is a real fear of the siblings. No? What if they have a future, no, in the future, a child with autism? But it goes back again to the fact that if ever they have a good support system, they have very good role models. No, their parents are really hands-on in taking care of their brother or sister with autism. Plus, they have the proper or right attitude. Then this will, in a way, assure them that even if they have one in the future, they will be able to manage it. They will be able to manage the challenge. Thank you, Cid.
Yes, that's why very important talaga yung support systems. May it be sa family, may it be sa friends, or sa anyone. No? Thank you so much for that, Teacher Mai and Sid. So, heading to the next question, how can siblings like me set emotional and personal boundaries while still being supportive and involved?
I was thinking, Nene, it's better if you answer this question. No? But for me, for my point of view, okay, I think I mentioned it a while ago. It's better if you are able to find time for yourself, no? Because you still have your own life, no? And pursuing whatever you want, your interests, your hobbies, or whatever you want to do in your life, no, will be good for your emotional well-being, your mental well-being also, no. And I feel that if you're able to find time for yourself, you're able to take care of yourself, then you become a better brother or sister to your sibling who has autism. So at the most, that's my that's my response to your question, Nene.
Teacher Mai, may I
Yes,
react here? I
yes.
think my I think my brother Manong Toto and sister Manang Inday do not really set emotional boundaries except on what is proper and what is not. When I do repetitive
Mm,
talking, they just distract me gently. When I'm about
mm,
to throw a tantrum, they remind me to stop. Whenever I help at home, they recognize that and reinforce me positively. But whenever I have an activity, for example, I will perform, they will drop everything and help mom in my preparation and be with me. They take turns in calling me by phone just to remind me to behave, take care of dad and mom, and help at home. They do not forget to say they love me. We even end
mm.
or sign our text messages love.
That's really nice, Sid. Okay. So, Teacher Mai, ito naman yung part na maraming makaka-relate, lalo na sa Filipino families dito, no? So, Teacher Mai, what guidance can you give siblings on how to start honest conversations with parents about caregiving expectations?
So it's another topic that we often get to discuss in Sib's camp also. No, honestly, no, I feel it ought to be the parents. No, the parents ought to start the parents ought to start the discussion when it comes to caregiving roles. No, I guess it all boils down to what I'm trying to say. No, it's having an open communication in the family. No, again, I guess it's not typical for us, not the Filipinos, especially for us children, to open conversations with our parents, but I guess there are times that we need to change this kind of way of thinking or way of seeing things, no? Because again, when we have that honest to goodness communication, no, then we are able to settle issues and concerns related to having a brother or sister with autism. But again, I believe that parents ought to start first the discussion, or ought to first start communicating, or opening rather the topic. No, but for adult siblings, I mean, if you're comfortable enough, no, which I guess you ought to be comfortable enough to open this topic already, it's very important because I know this has an implication in future plans, no, especially when your parents are aging, they become sickly, and we know that some of them, well, we know quite a number of parents who have passed away already. So these are the things that one needs to be settled already while everyone else in the family is still complete and able to talk about, no, the caregiving roles, no, of siblings, no, because it also goes back to our Filipino values na inaalagaan talaga natin ang bawat isa, no, even if there are no disabilities in the family. It's given already that as part of a Filipino family, part of our culture, we do take care we do take care of each other, no? Especially when our parents are long gone already.
Yes. And I can somehow relate to that, Teacher Mike, when it comes to communication. Because communication or opening up in general, especially towards parents, kapag meron tayong gusto, meron tayong wishes, so ano, parang mahihirapan mag-open up. So maybe along the way, malalearn rin. Not just for me, but for other people rin. No? So thank you so much for that, Teacher Mai. And I'll head now to the next
Nene,
question. Yes, yes, Sid.
nene,
Hmm?
may share lang.
I'll go ahead, Sid.
100% I agree, Teacher Mai. Communication is really important here. After the diagnosis, my father gathered my 11-year-old brother and 10-year-old sister and told them about it. He encouraged them to study hard because someday, when he and our mom are not with us anymore, Manong Toto will provide financially and Manang Inday will provide a home for me. From then on, if they feel they did poorly in school performance during the day, they came home crying, worried up that our parents will not entrust me to them someday. Young as they were, they had kind of motivation and sense of responsibility. Nakakatulong kapag malinaw ang usapan. Mas namigit kung may open communication at advanced thinking about these concerns.
Yes, that is correct, Sid. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So, sa Filipino families, Teacher Mai, madalas may expectation na kaming mga kapatid ang sasalo sa lahat. So, paano natin mababalance ang family values at ang sarili naming well-being?
Uulitin ko ulit na, no, baka gasgas na sa mga tenga nyo sa inyong mga pandinig, no, but I will, I believe, no, it's the communication is still the key in addressing all the issues and concerns, no. Mahalaga mapag-usapan ang mga ganitong bagay-bagay kasi unang-una we have to remember autism is lifetime, no, it's a lifelong condition, so that um, because it is a lifelong condition, no, there are a lot of things that need to be discussed openly, no. We cannot say na bahala na or tsaka na lang natin pag-usapan yan. I think the fact that we have this kind of discussion right now, I hope this will in a way encourage the families to start sitting down and really discussing what are the things ought to be done, no, in preparation for the future, and how are we able to do things, no, balance well, knowing that the siblings, no, you siblings, no, siblings of persons with autism, you also have your own life, no. It is, if I may use the word, okay, it will be unfair if your own life will be put aside just because you have to take care of a brother or sister with autism. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that's right. But what I'm saying, it is unfair, no? So if all attention will just be on the individual with autism, no, you are a family, so it is good that everyone gets to sit down and tackle so that issues will be settled, no, things will be planned the way it ought to be planned, no, and what is important, everyone will agree to that plan, no, everyone will agree to that plan. So going back to your question, Nene, again, no, ako bumabalik pa rin sa communication, pag-usapan ang dapat pag-usapan na sa pamilya in relation to autism.
Okay, thank you, Teacher Mai.
Like, oh, she will ask you certain.
Okay, so Teacher Mai, thank you so much for that. Usapang future naman po, medyo heavy po, pero sobrang kailangan siyang i-talk about po. From an expert standpoint po, expected ba talaga na our siblings will become primary caregivers in the future? Or may ibang models of care na dapat natin i-consider?
My answer to that question, no, if you are no, as Filipino siblings, no, are you expected to be the primary caregivers? My answer is in fact yes, because I am taking into consideration again, our Filipino culture. I've mentioned it in previously, no, just a few minutes ago, that given our Filipino culture, we are a close knit family. So, with or without disability, growing up, no, we've seen it. I don't want to say learned, but I don't want to say rather trained, but we've learned that we are supposed to take care of each other, again, with or without disability. So, um, yes, siblings will become the prime caregivers of your brother or sister with autism. On the other hand, I'd like to inject again, no, dapat na pag-uusapan to, because again, it's hard to uh, do something that may seem to be burden, no? May seem to be a burden to you, no? That's why if you talk about it, there will be a lot of issues and concerns that can be hopefully settled also. Another thing also, if it will make sense, especially to the listeners here, no? If we will refer to the usaping inclusion, di ba? Yan yung battle cry natin, inclusion, no? Abroad, we know that there are a lot of residential settings or the group home settings, no? But because inclusion is actively being discussed and implemented, no? In developed countries, when you say inclusion, they in fact encourage persons with disability to go back to their families and live with their families. Perhaps based on research, they have seen that there are more advantages, no, when a person with disability goes back or returns back to his or her family, no, in terms of living there for good, no, instead of just simply being placed in a residential or group home setting. Pero ako bumabalik pa rin sa ano ba ang pinapahalagahan ng pamilya, no? What do they really value? And for me also, aside from what do they really value, I see also how do they see, no? How do they view disability per se? So again, as Filipinos, no, as Filipino siblings, yes, we are in a way, no, designated. You are the designated prime caregivers of your brother or sister with autism because of our family value, no, being a close knit family, no. But again, napag-uusapan lagi to. Okay, thank you, Nene.
Teacher Mai,
Yes,
dapat
Sid.
dapat advance mag-isip ang mga families with a child or children in the spectrum.
Correct, Sid. Correct talaga, no? Dapat advance, no, na naiisip na nila yan kaagad para na pag-uusapan siya. So thank you also, Sid, for that comment. Yeah.
Ask next question.
Question. Sige.
So, what long-term planning steps should siblings like me be aware of legally, financially, and socially?
Okay, thank you, Sid. Wow, the questions are really getting tough, Sid. But again, these are the things that we need, no, or the family needs to discuss already. No, siblings, at least you have an idea what you can discuss with your parents also, no, especially for the adult siblings. Okay, this is not just for siblings, again, of persons with autism or other disabilities, but these are in fact valid issues that are being discussed or ought to be discussed in any families, no, the financial, legal matters, no, the if ever living arrangements, how to support each other, no. If I recall, no, I'm trying to recall of my experiences in the past, no. Okay, I remember there are some families or siblings who would tell me, wala naman kami masyadong pera or ari-arian, no? So why do we have to go through in discussing all this financial issues or financial concerns or legal matters or the future living arrangement with my brother or sister with autism, no? Pero ako, with or without resources, no, the more you have to sit down and talk about it and plan, no, so that you will know your options also, no. Just a little bit of sharing. Usually, I get to hear from families, no, when they talk to their other children, those who do not have autism. For living arrangements, what they do is usually the house will be allotted for the person with autism. Now, pag-uusapan na lang yan ng pamilya at ng mga kapatid, no, kung sino sasama dun sa kapatid na may autism, natitira dun sa, they're called family house, no? So that's one option. Another thing also in deciding who will care, no, for the sibling with autism, kung let's say the sibling with autism is a male, kadalasan ang nadidinig ko, isa dun sa kuya niya or kapatid niya na lalaki ang mag-aalaga, no, for future living arrangements. Or if not, kung babae naman ang may autism, so yung kapatid niya, yung sister niya ang mag-aalaga sa kanya. But for the others that I know of, no, whether it's a brother or sister who will take care of the future living arrangements or the finances, no, usually ang nadidinig ko kung sino sa mga kapatid ang medyo angat sa buhay ang kukuha ng ganitong role, no. Pero ako, I go back again to what I've been saying a while ago. It goes back to communication. Kailangan pag-usapan sa pamilya ang mga ganitong bagay. So thank you again, Cid, for that question.
Teacher Mai, Nene,
Yes.
allow me to share again. I
So,
heard
go
about
ahead.
community-based housing for persons on the spectrum abroad, but I would rather be at home. As a family,
Mm.
my parents are trying to address the financial aspect this early, so we are looking for some passive income remedies.
Mm.
That way, I will not be much of a burden to my siblings, although without asking, Manong and Manang spoil me a lot. Moving on, Teacher Mai,
That's really
what
nice.
realistic options currently
Go ahead,
Uh,
Cid. Yes.
go ahead, Sid. It's okay.
What realistic options currently exist in the Philippines for supportive living, employment, or community-based services?
Okay, I'll do my best, Sid, to answer that question because for one, no, we always go back to the fact that we have to know our resources, no, that are available in the community, whether we live in the city or the province, we have to know what are the resources available. That's why it is so good. There's so much advantage if you are part of an organization such as Autism Society Philippines because they are able to link you up with such resources, no, that are needed, especially in the future living arrangements or the livelihood, no, or sources of income for persons with autism. What I know of here is actually more of a few here in Metro Manila and in the Visayas, no, specifically Iloilo and Bacolod. No. I know there are attempts already to come up with residential settings, no? But then I think for those who have attempted already, it's quite costly to maintain it. So I'm not sure if they are functioning fully at this point in time, no? That's usually in the south area, mga papuntang Laguna, Cavite ang alam ko, okay, for residential settings. Now for the employment, okay, so far what I know of, there are centers, no, centers for people with disabilities, no, apart from making it a school for them, quite a number of school owners are now moving towards the direction of creating jobs by literally setting up businesses in their centers. And it becomes a training ground for people with autism and other disabilities to have work skills, no. But with companies that I have few, but in fact, whatever I know of at this point in time, in fact, it's coming also from Autism Society Philippines. That's why for me, again, know the resources that is available in your community, and it's good that if you are part of an organization as big as Autism Society Philippines, because they can link you up with resources that you need, no, in order to help your brother or sister with autism in the future. Yeah. Thank you, Sid.
Welcome. Teacher Mai, Nene, I want to
Yes.
be self-supporting someday. I have attended job fairs, submitted applications to hotels because I am a BSHRM graduate. I applied in government offices too. invoking the Magna Carta 1% job reservation in government service for persons with disabilities. Still, I have to see feedback. That is why it is important that future supportive living shall be given utmost consideration by the family. The internet is abuzz with promising legislations about autism care. May they be the answers to these concerns.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, Sid. Thank you so much and for your answer, Teacher Mai. Heading on to our next question, no? This time, hindi lang sa loob ng bahay, kundi sa school, work, at community din. So, how can siblings advocate effectively for our siblings on the spectrum or brother or sister without speaking over them or mapangunahan sila, Teacher Mai?
Ayun na.
Okay, yeah. Okay. What is important for siblings rather is to continuously learn about not just about autism but also the issues surrounding it. No, so you have a better grasp or better understanding of the situation of people with autism. No, another thing also is that I guess it's good if you find means and ways to better not just better understand but have a deeper understanding of who your brother or sister with autism is. In fact, you have to go beyond the condition, the autism, to see who really is your brother or sister with autism. In this way, you will be able to know when you need to step in and help your brother or sister, or when do you need to let go and step back and just allow your brother or sister with autism do whatever he or she wants to do, no, as long as it is good for her, no. So for me, again, it goes back again to continuously understand autism and all the accompanying issues and concerns, no, the surrounding autism, and have a deeper understanding of your sibling with autism. Go beyond the condition, go beyond autism, and see who really is your brother or sister, so you know when to help and when to step back and allow them to be them. Thank you, Nene.
Thank you rin, Teacher
Teach-
Mai.
Teacher
Teacher
Mai.
Mai, Nene, please allow me to share again. When my brother and sister were in high school, my brother made me the subject of his short stories and research
Mm.
while my sister would ask questions about genes in their science classes. Access to internet then was very limited, so it triggered questions about autism in a Pisay campus. That itself was already spreading awareness about autism. Nowadays, at their respective workplaces, colleagues would ask them their experiences growing
Mm.
up with me and get ideas on what to do with their own children on the spectrum. Acceptance, early intervention, and understanding autism, they would advise. Sometimes they would hear unpleasant remarks, but it made them more confident and came to resolve to take care of me and love me more. Final question from me, Teacher Mai. What role do you see siblings playing in promoting inclusion at school, work, and in the wider community?
How do I see, or what roles, no, will the siblings be doing in the future, no? The way I see it, no, siblings, no, especially for those who are listening to us this morning, no, you will definitely continue the work of your parents. So whatever they have started, no, the advocacies that they have started, the work that they have put so much in, no, the work that they have put so much in, the effort that they have been exerting all this time in making sure that your brother or sister with autism will lead a productive and meaningful life. No, you will really have to continue that. No, again, don't see it as a burden. No? If ever it is a burden at this point in time, then try to think, no, where is that burden coming from? Because if there's anyone in this world who is better in continuing the advocacy work, no, of what your parents have started, no, it is you siblings, no, because family knows best, eh. You know very well what your brother or sister with autism really needs, no. You always work for the best interest of your brother or sister with autism. So the way I see it, no, you will have a strong role in the future, especially when your parents are long gone, in continuing to fight for the rights not only of people with autism but people with disabilities, to make sure that their rights will become real.
Thank you, Teacher Mai.
Nene. Go, Nene.
Go, Nene.
Nene. Where's Nene? Sige, I'll ask them to. What does being... Oh, sige, Teacher May. Teacher May.
So, Teacher Mai, what does being a supportive or responsible sibling really mean, and how can we make that role sustainable long term?
Okay. The way I see it, Sid, no, when we talk about being a supportive and responsible sibling, the way I see it, no, it begins with acceptance, no. When you are able to accept your reality, that you are a sibling of someone who has autism, acceptance will now segue to embracing the realities of living with someone, no, who has autism, not just 24/7, but it's a lifetime, no, living with someone. Okay. If you are able to accept and embrace this reality, no, then I believe you are able to come up with strategies, with approaches, no, with plans of actions that are good for your brother or sister with autism, and at the same time, which will also benefit you in a way because it will make your life more purposeful and meaningful. So again, to answer your question, Sid, I believe that acceptance, no, you have to accept first, because acceptance will lead to embracing the reality of having a brother or sister with autism.
Kasama. Nene, are there questions? Ano si
Thank you
Nene?
so
Nene,
much.
are there questions?
Um, I think none so far, Sid. And all
Okay.
of Teacher Mai's questions are very clear and very heartfelt, as well as very knowledgeable. And we have learned, and I have learned myself a lot from them. So thank you so much for that. Go ahead,
Nene.
Sid.
Yay! Yay! Patapos na tayo. Mga kapatid,
Oo.
just keep the love burning. Bitin ng kwentuhan, no?
Mm-mm.
Pero tuloy-tuloy ang usapan dito sa AOK Pilipinas. All
Mm-mm.
episodes are available on YouTube. Please follow and subscribe sa Autism Society Philippines sa Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, at YouTube. Take it away, Nene.
Thank you so much for that, Teacher Mai. Um, Teacher Mai, any final message for my fellow siblings who, before that, I would like to promote muna the Angels Walk
Mhm.
this upcoming April 26, 2026, and as well as the Pwede that will be held this February 28th along with our playmates, and yours truly will be their instructor rather. And
Wow.
Teacher Mai, do you have any final message for my fellow siblings who are watching today?
Okay, thank you, Nene, again. Yes, for my final message, no, siblings, please remember that you are not alone in your journey as a brother or sister of someone with autism. No, the autism population is rising already. No, because every day there are a lot of children being diagnosed with autism. Therefore, there are a lot of families who have members with autism. There are a lot of siblings who share it may not be the same experience but a similar experience as what you are going through. So always remember, hindi kayo nag-iisa. And then the other final message that I want to give also is, make sure, no, this is not just for the siblings but also for the parents who are listening to us this morning, no, please start already having communications. Talk about issues, concerns, no, plans that you have, that you're thinking about, no, to your other children, no. It's good that you're able to sit down already as early as now to talk about all these things, so that the children, your other children, will not be left in fear or anxiety. At least they have an idea what's going to happen if you are long gone already. So again, siblings, hindi kayo nag-iisa, marami kayong kasama, marami kayong kakampi sa usaping autism. Yeah, so thank you, Nene. Thank you, Cid.
Nako! Para sa akin, this episode reminds us na ang pagiging kapatid ay hindi tungkol sa pagiging perfect. Sa halip, ito ay sa pagiging present at handang matuto. And most of all, handang magmahal ng todo-todo.
Yes, that is correct, Sid. At para sa akin, okay lang mapagod. Hindi ibig sabihin nun na mahal mo sila ng mas kaunti. Sa lahat ng mga kapatid gaya ko na nanood today, sana na-realize natin na may space din tayo sa kwento. Hindi lang tayo taga-alaga, hindi lang tayo taga-salo, tayo ay kapatid, kasama at kakampi. Or rather, sa iligay nun, upod kami sa inyo, hindi kamo nagkaisahan. Maraming salamat sa pagsama sa episode na ito ng AOK Pilipinas.
Shout out to my Manong Tuto and wife Manang Sheila and to my Manang Inday First. Part of who I am today is because I was born with the coolest siblings, so thoughtful, so caring, and so loving. Let's continue choosing understanding, compassion, and inclusion para sa buong autism community. Bisan diin ka man, I'd like to live with my
Yes.
constant inspiration to everyone that there is nothing to fear about autism, but there is more to love about the person living with it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ma'am
That is
Dang,
right, Sid.
Teacher Mike, and Nene. God
Yes,
bless
thank
us
you, Sid.
all.
Okay. And on behalf of AOK Pilipinas, hostan ko ng buong ASP teams nationwide, kasama na ang Autism Society Philippines Self-Advocate Circle at ng ating napakabait na ate ng lahat, si Teacher Mike. Ako po si Nene Arroyo, kasama si Cid Tampo, kasama ninyo sa pag-cheer at pag-champion ng autism community. Mga ka-AOK, tuloy lang tayo sa pagtanggap, pagkalinga at pagkilos para sa isang AOK Pilipinas.